Right, welcome back to the Vantage Point YouTube channel. It's another album review, and as I've not long been to see the Maiden on tour, I thought I'd have a look at this album, Somewhere in Time. So my first copy of Somewhere in Time I got in the early 90s on vinyl, and it was actually a Japanese import, which came with a poster, which definitely was on my wall many times, and a folding out lyric sheet, and it also came with a 7-inch interview single, which can't remember last time I played that, so I have no idea what's on it. Then I upgraded in the late 90s to the multimedia edition. It has a really nice booklet, and then subsequently, a few years ago, I got the recent remaster. It came in a pretty flimsy box with a not that impressive Eddie statue and a patch, which is even less impressive. And I've sewn that on one of my draft excluders, you know, to help keep the bills down in this energy crisis we find ourselves in. So before we get to the review, for anyone that's not seen this before, I give each song a score, add them up, divide it by the number of songs. It gives me an overall score for the album, and I have my little Hall of Fame chart, which you can see now. And so if you want to know where Somewhere in Time goes in the chart, you can keep watching, or if you're already bored with my dull chat, you can just fast forward to the end and find it there. Side A began with the near title track, which I think marked a bit of a departure in sound from the previous albums. The guitar synths gives the production a real lush, well-produced sound. Obviously not quite a well-produced Def Leppard type sound, but really smooth and nice sounding, shall we say. And it's got a nice guitar intro before the drums come in and hold the beat a few times round. And then they really kick things up a notch with the next riff, which is underpinned by some real galloping bass, obviously a bit of a Maiden trademark. The performance playing and singing is just exemplary, and there's loads of energy. It's a great tune. Maybe not quite an amazing one. I don't know, it just doesn't quite have, for want of a better phrase, the X factor that maybe the previous two albums opened with, Where Eagles Dare and Aces High. They felt that they were real songs kind of pushing the boundaries of metal and what metal really could be, whereas Somewhere in Time is kind of like fitting into what the standard is, instead of pushing the envelope further. Then again, maybe I'm just being slightly overcritical, and it is in fact just an amazing tune. The riffing that leads into the chorus for Bruce Swords, and then the build up in the solos, and the energy and excitement for them. So yeah, I do love the track. And it's an amazing Maiden tune. It's maybe just not quite on the highs of what the previous album openers, but I don't know. Then the next tune up is the first single, Wasted Years. And Summer in Town must have been one of my favourite Maiden albums, because when I went to see Nico in one of his drum clinics, and it was 93, I obviously took this long to get signed. And then I got the Bruce signature, I believe, when he was doing an in-store for Skunkworks. But Wasted Years is just an amazing song, and even though it was back in 1986, the intro riff still sounds kind of futuristic. It's just kind of a bit outworldly, and I guess it could be probably classed as Maiden's most commercial tune, though I guess Can I Play With Madness would maybe have something to say about that. So yeah, it could also be said to be Smith's finest hour. I mean, it's pretty much just a perfect hard rock song with some pop sensibilities thrown in, which is probably making it so commercial. And then, although you've got the road weary lyrics, there's still upbeat enough to make you want to throw your hands up in the air, quite literally. And so I mean, it's fantastic. And then the breakdown in the middle of the song back into the intro riff during the build up to the guitar solo, where you've got those descending bass runs from Steve Harris, and the drum fills from Nico, and then it goes into it's just a fantastic solo. It's just a brilliant piece of music. So yeah, I mean the solo is an extremely favourite part of the song, but I love the drum and bass fills underneath the chorus as well. They just accent it so well. It's just an amazingly perfect song. It's such that actually I far prefer the studio version to the live. It's probably produced so well in such a perfect song that it's probably hard to perform to such a standard live. But yes, I mean, it's a pretty good 1-2 punch from the start of the album. Then we get our second Smith written song, Sea of Madness, which is lyrically it seems pretty similar to Wasted Years, although maybe a little bit more downbeat on the living on the road, the toll it takes on you. And it's certainly a heavier opening riff on the guitar in this one. I don't think it's as immediate as the other two tracks. The vocals seem a bit more restrained in their delivery, yet the music underneath is pretty frenetic, I think. And whereas the chorus is more of a build-up to the Sea of Madness payoff line, as opposed to being a great infectious chorus that just goes around in your head all the time. So it's not as good. I mean, there's another drop down at the solo, which is nice and melodic with some nice bass lines underneath and a bit of Bruce warbling on top. But after that, I think it kind of overstays its welcome and starts to drag a bit towards the end. So it's an okay song. I would have liked to have heard it on this tour, because it would have been such a left field choice from them, even though they were doing quite a few songs from Somewhere in Time. But I suspected they didn't play that one. They did, however, play Heaven Can Wait, which is a song I'd seen them play several times before, even twice with Blaze. And in fact, it's the song which has been played most from this album live, but not one of their best as far as I'm concerned. And It to me it just seems a little bit pedestrian and a bit Maiden by numbers. But although in saying that, live it is a lot better, the studio version now. But particularly like the kind of in the middle of the parts, which starts "Take My Hand." Yeah, I mean that part just has it's got the right beat to jump up and down to, which is really enjoyable when we're down the front seeing them live. But when you've got it on a record, it's not their best song, I don't think. So we slip over to side 2 and the loneliness of the long distance runner, which is a bit of a mouthful to say, and as such I think makes for a chorus which probably isn't the greatest to listen to or put a nice melody to. But the intro's kind of structured like Caught Somewhere in Time, with a nice little guitar intro and then some drums accenting before it then goes thump into the full song, and which is a bit of a frenetic gallop, which I guess suits the subject matter. But then I was going to say it doesn't really go anywhere, but I suppose it's a long distance runner, isn't it? It has some nice instrumental passages, and obviously the guitar solo of a high standard, but again, probably like Heaven Can Wait, it's a bit of a filler track. But obviously not to worry, because the next song is the standards right up again, and one of the best artworks for the second single, Stranger in a Strange Land. I've got a picture disc and I've got a 12-inch. This is a Japanese one which has Reach Out and Lost for Words and the Sheriff of Huddersfield on it, as well as the regular Stranger in a Strange Land B-side. I don't know how I was getting so many Japanese things for this album, but it's a real class song, and it's slightly different, I think, from Maiden, with the tempo and the feel. You know, obviously starts with that infectious bass groove, and then Bruce delving into more lyrics about lost in the wilderness. But it's got a great chorus, and then again another breakdown into the solo, which features some more lovely bass runs, and then we build up to as it seems to be known now, a Mr. Smith moment.
As you always call her, a Mr. Smith moment. Coming right up, Mr. Smith.
Then we have Deja Vu, which is a song, when I first got the album, I absolutely loved and listened to loads, but it's really kind of worn off on me. I'm not so keen on it now. I mean, it starts with a nice, tasteful Dave Murray intro, and then it's into a bit of an up-tempo, frenetic tune, which, I mean, there's some nice guitar parts interspersing some of the vocals, and particularly in the instrumental section with Nico hammering away in the background. And for one of the shorter tunes, there's actually quite a lot of instrumental to it. There's not too much singing and chorusing, but I don't know, it's just it's certainly an improvement on Heaven Can Wait and The Loneliest Long Distance Runner, but you feel it's maybe just where it's stuck in the album, in between Stranger in a Strange Land and then the finishing epic, Alexander the Great, that it just doesn't shine, I would say. Then, what can you say about Alexander the Great? Died of fever in Babylon. Well, this is the one, obviously, I personally was desperate to see them play, and then very thankful that they did. And it was amazing each time I saw it, and it's just one of my favourite Maiden tunes. Starting with that you know, the military style drumming over some kind of lovely tender guitar before you go into the album proper. I mean, the song, just from the point of view of the lyrics, it's a good little tune, you know, and a little history lesson in the verses, and then a pretty good soaring chorus. You know, this Alexander the Great, you wouldn't have thought would make a great sing-along chorus, but it does. But for me, it's really the solo section where the song comes into its own. You know, again, starting with the kind of the military drum, it just builds and builds with some wonderful guitar passages, and then it's that drum fill, which anytime I hear it, I have to try and air drum along to. It just starts basically just before 5 minutes, and then the rest of the instrumental section is just amazing. Wonderful guitar solos, and I love the breaks during them, where again you can do some more air drumming. Just an unbelievably good song. Could well be my favourite Maiden tune, though maybe Phantom of the Opera from Live to Death would dispute that. But anyway, so that's my little review on Somewhere in Time. I have given each song a rating, which should be appearing on your screen now. Totaled it up, divided by 8, and that gives a rating for the album as a whole, and it goes into my little Hall of Fame, which you'll be excited to see. Should anyone still, of course, be watching by the time we get to this part of the video. So yes, so that's Somewhere in Time, and then thanks for watching, and I'm sure there'll be another video about something sometime soon. Maybe another album review, or maybe more likely it's something saying, please listen to some Vantage Point. Go on, you know you want to.
Thirty.